This video is brought to you by Mississippi Land Bank, where they understand the lay of the land in North Mississippi. Check them out at mslandbank.com. Land Bank. Bryce Young taking over at quarterback for Alabama. We all kind of know that's what's going to happen, even though he has barely played at all. 22 pass attempts, that's it from last season as a true freshman. So he comes into this year, he's going to be the guy for Alabama. He's their new $1 million man, according to Nick Saban.
Here's Bryce Young, Matt, making his debut, five-star prospect out of modern-day high school.
In this video, we're going to look at all 22 pass attempts last season in 2020 for Bryce Young at Alabama. Now, we're not going to break down everyone. We'll break down some of them. We're going to take a look at all 22 pass attempts last year. This is sort of the progression of the season for him. Came into the year, no experience, true freshman. He's the backup to Mac Jones. He got his first action in September, late September, in that game against Missouri on the road, a 38-19 win. He goes 5 for 8 passing in that game. Then next, in the road game at Tennessee, played late, went 3 for 5 in that one. Played against Mississippi State, mop-up duty, 2 pass attempts, but did not complete one. And then a couple of completions against Kentucky in late November, including his first touchdown pass of his career and the only one he threw last year. No attempts in playing time against Auburn. Had 1 pass attempt against LSU. It was almost picked, but not. And then finished the year, the last game he played in at Arkansas, went 3 for 4 in that ball game. So all total, 22 attempts. 13 completions on the year, 1 touchdown, no picks. Very little game experience for him coming into this year. And that would be really the main difference. And a lot of these guys who've been recruited by Alabama and then fast-tracked to be their starting quarterbacks is that he comes into the year having basically, no playing experience. Here they are, those 22 pass attempts on the year for Bryce Young. Let's take a look, see how it looked for him. And because that's who you're going to see in the control of the Alabama offense. This year, we'll start off with the first game that he played in when he made his debut against Missouri. All right, let's watch his pass attempts here against Missouri. The first one of the ball game's a low snap. He's got to pick it up, spin out there, and throw this screen pass to Devontae Smith. There was a lot of screens built into the pass attempts that he had throughout the year, but you can see that's a pretty tough one right there. But he did a nice job, First pass attempt of your career didn't come off clean, but you did get a completion out of it, pick it up, and make a throw. Now, here's one. We'll probably draw this one up. I thought this was really good. Second attempt, nice completion here in a one-on-one to Devontae Smith. Goes up the field, throws a corner route, completes it. Just quickly, you can kind of see what he sees. He's got a quick release. The ball seems to come out a little low, but it is very quick, very athletic, strong arm, very easy throw. They line him up right here with a 4-man front. One's got his hand up. There's a lot of guys in the box, in this formation, and I think he sees, I got a safety out here in the middle of the field. It's 2 over my 2 receivers, 2 over top of 2. So it's pretty obviously going to be a man-free type look. And on the snap of the ball, that safety stays in the middle of the field. I know it's one-on-one over here on this side of the field, and it's just a matter of, choosing one of those. So, it's probably as much as anything a matchup deal where, any quarterback, even true freshman, knows number 6, Devontae Smith, I get him matched up man-to-man. I'm taking that one. Because you'll see he's got the underneath open on 3rd and 4. And truthfully, there are some guys who are, going to come in here and probably take this, try to throw this first down, just get it out of his hand. But, it's a good read, good, calm, cool-headed read, one-on-one up the field, take the shot when you have it, and put it on him. Nice pocket, throws it out there, nice completion. So that was his. He's 2 for 2 to start the ball game. He comes back here, throws one back shoulder, but it's out of bounds, goes incomplete. That was attempt number 3. Attempt number 4 in the game. We don't get to see the read on the TV copy. It's kind of muddy in the middle of the field. It's a nice throw in the midst of a lot of people. It's a confident throw, but you don't really get to see what's happening down the field. So there's not a lot of point in drawing it up. He's just driving it into one of his guys. A lot of people. Not a very clean look down the field, but he's able to get a completion out of it. His 5th throw was a little throwback screen that they tackled him for a loss. Now, this is not a throw, but this is a 3rd and 19. He's going to try to escape. His first mistake in his college career. He didn't hang on to the ball, fumbled it away in the game. So not everything was perfect for him, in his freshman year. I think that was his only turnover in his playing time. So you come back, his 6th attempt is a really nice job in the pocket right there, stepping up, finding a guy crossing, and getting the ball out. It's only a 3-man rush. It's 3rd and 12. You got to get it down the field to extend the drive, and his pocket's starting to squeeze on you a little bit, and step up, and in the process of stepping up, get it out on time and accurately to a guy crossing at the first down stick. This is a really nice job. That was his 6th attempt in the game. He's got 2 more that were both late, and they're both incomplete. So he goes a little play action. The read didn't come out clean, escapes, and then just unloads it. That's a intentional incomplete to avoid taking a loss. And then another one here, throwing it. Now, this one probably should be a touchdown, his last attempt. But the pressure on the protection was not great. And, they pinched the pocket on him, got in his face as he's throwing a football. But, you got some kind of little hand signal going on right here from Waddle. He's telling him, hey, you may get off the edge right here. And if so, we may break this thing off in there. I don't know if that's what that is. I'm just kind of guessing on that. But what I do know is you get a guy like Waddle up the hash, 1-on-1, breaking inside with a DV behind him. So he's got position. And if you throw this, you got to put it on him. And if you do, it's a touchdown. But it's easier said than done when this happens. They're going a little play action protection here. So show the ball, fake to the back. It's going to draw the linebackers, clean the read. And what you've got is your protection on this side. You got a puller and a tight end following. So you're bringing 2 across, make it look like run. But they don't really get there in the protection, if you see that. So not only is it in his face, but it's coming on his back shoulder too. He can feel it. He's got a guy 3 black shirts right on him as he's letting the ball go. And that's why he throws it behind his receiver and it's incomplete. But you put it out in front of him right here. This is touchdown, and would have been his first touchdown of the game. Instead, it's just his last attempt of the ball game goes incomplete. So there's not a big body of work, big cross section to really, judge him by. But this you do know. He's not very tall. He's listed at 6 feet, just under 200 pounds. His release and mechanics throwing the football, very smooth, very little wasted motion, very quick release, but it's not prototypical. The ball's not up-seated really high, coming out high like a Tom Brady or a Cam Newton, guys like that. It's a little bit more natural. The ball's kind of low, but he's very accurate, very quick release. Okay, Bryce Young against Tennessee. We'll look at his pass attempts here in a little bit of late mop-up playing time in this ball game. He had one nice 3rd down completion. We'll take a look at it. His first throw against Tennessee in the game, it's just a little screen-ish type playoff play action to the back out of the backfield. And this is that 3rd down completion. It was 3rd and 6, steps up, finds a 1-on-1 down in the boundary. So there's a lot to like here. And looking at the read, it's interesting that he comes back to the 1-on-1 because what he's getting is a lot of bodies. He's got 3 with their hand down. He's got 2 more walked up, into the boundary. He's got a 3rd walked up kind of to the field. He may come, and you got another on the end line of scrimmage. So there are actually 7 in the box right on the line of scrimmage. Maybe that pre-snap is what tells him, hey, I'm going to take this 1-on-1 here. And then when you snap the ball, you get a little something different. Snap it, they bail out. Okay, so again, it said pre-snap maybe is what told him 1-on-1. What's happening is you're going to get kind of a 1-on-1, but it's a zone corner who's going to drop. And so this defender's dropping underneath in zone coverage. So kind of get it bracketed. They're only rushing 4, trying to confuse the protection, which they don't do. Alabama does a nice job of protecting with 5 linemen and a 6. So 6 on 4, kind of outnumber the rush, but they outnumber you in their coverage, drop 1 underneath. That's why I said it was interesting that, he came to the 1-on-1 side. We'll take a look here. They drop in throwing lanes. You got a 3-man route to the wide side of the field, and he's got his eyes in the middle of the field. You can tell that, but he still comes back to that 1-on-1 and gets a nice completion because of the accuracy of the throw to the sideline. When you look at it the other way, from behind, you kind of see what he sees. So they drop. They show him a lot on the line of scrimmage, pre-snap. And again, for a guy playing in his first college experience, that pre-snap read's really important. If they show me that, I'm already thinking, okay, it looks like I'm going to have a soft cushion over here, throw this outbreak for a first down. But like we say, problem is they show me a lot on the line of scrimmage, but then everybody drops and they just rush 4 on the snap. They drop. Look, he peeked. All right, so let's watch his eyes real quick. If I could zoom in, I would, but I'll just highlight it for you. Take a look at his helmet. Watch that stripe on his helmet and see if we can see what his eyes are doing. Looks to me like, he peeks initially right away over to that pre-snap read to his right, the 1-on-1. Then as he drops, he brings his eyes back in the middle of the field and sees that free safety deep. If he's reading the left side of the field to his left, wide side, and he sees that safety deep and he sees this zone drop here, then probably what he's going to do is throw a nice completion right here on the logo in the middle of the field, if he had read that side. You see what I mean right now? There that is, your receiver in that whole middle of the field. But he's made the decision to come back to the 1-on-1, even though you got a linebacker who's trying to drop in the throwing lane. Now I drew it out route. It's not an out route. The guy's actually hooking up right there. And this is a nice job, quarterback and receiver, to know the throwing lane is to the outside because of this underneath defender with inside position. So, it's just once you take that guy, find the throwing lane, and throw it away from the defender where only your guy can get it. And that's a really nice throw. So that was his second attempt in the Tennessee game. The third attempt, show a little play action. He's going to try to hit a guy in the middle. It gets batted away. And he had him open. You see him there on the right side of your screen as he's letting it go. He had a guy open right there at the 35. And it was going to hit him late. It just got batted away. So what happens, you get closer to the line of scrimmage when you climb that pocket. And they'll coach him on that to stay back there and keep your depth. Stay away from those guys. And then the fourth attempt in the game for him, he comes back. It's a really nice throw. Again, coming back to a single receiver side. It's similar to that 3rd and 9 or 3rd and short completion earlier. This is 3rd and 9 where he's got 3 receivers to the wide side of the field, his left, single receiver, what we'd say into the boundary because the ball is on the right hash. This time it's a little different. They give him 4 on the line of scrimmage, but only another in the box, only 5 in the box. So it's a zone look right away. On this particular angle, you can't quite see all the coverage. You just see the guy on the bottom of your screen, free release, gets an inside break, and he just zips it right to him. There's nobody to interrupt the throw, nobody in the throwing lane. They give you an up high look at that. You can kind of see what he sees on the coverage. It's nickel for Tennessee, obviously. All these DBs, safeties out here in the middle of the field, nobody in the box. It's kind of a run look, in a different situation other than 3rd and 9. You may just hand this thing off or check to it and make them adjust. But you're going to get free release and in break right here to the 1-on-1. I think this is a deal where you got 3 receivers over here, and on this side of the field, left of the hash, ball's on the right hash, and over here you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defenders over the top of 3 receivers, and so it's just pretty clearly on numbers. Come down here to the single receiver side, and they rotate it. That's another thing, and that's not my circle. That's the TV copy circle, but they're showing you the way they line it up. They're going to try to maybe confuse the protection again, get the quarterback. So they're bringing that banjo, if you will, coming off the hash, bringing somebody off the hash right there. It does get picked up, but that's probably that, and this safety rotating down to replace him is another thing. You see all this action, one coming and coverage rotating that way. Another clue to him to, hey, just come back to the single. And so this is a really nice job in this situation for a true freshman. See that left, his eyes are on it, come back and zip it in there on a completion. I thought that was really impressive. See it from the field level, looks a lot different, and just a nice hookup. So that was his 4th, and then his 5th attempt in his Tennessee game was down in a goal line situation, a slant. He just threw a fastball to a guy through a defender's hands. You see it right here. I don't know if it's RPO, if he's able to read this. Maybe he is reading it. Maybe it's a call. I don't know. It looks like he's probably reading it, but pulls it out. based on that next level defender. The problem is the defensive end is getting blocked so well that the offensive tackle 79 right here to your right actually, pushes him back into the throwing lane that you're trying to go into right here. Pushes the defender, and that's tough. So, yes, it's catchable. The receiver's going to say, this should be my catch right here. It's my bad. But when the ball's coming through a set of hands, it's very difficult, especially when you're 4 yards away and it's a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. So it's a tough throw. Even watching film of Bryce Young coming out of high school, I remember saying, and I have said since then, he kind of reminded you of a right-handed Tua in that he's really quick release, very natural, very fluid and athletic, and just super accurate. Mississippi State game, he only had 2 attempts. They both went incomplete. It was a screen. It's all blown up because State's pressuring the line of scrimmage. And then the last one is he's swinging it out to a back, coming back to a guy late. That actually should be a completion right there. His back's got to catch that one. It's not the best throw. You see it's a little bit in front. Makes it hard. And that's, this is a simple play incompletion, but we talk about that a lot of times is with running backs especially, but even with tight ends in some situations. Last thing you want to do is make them have to reach out in front, make them have to reach behind, make them have to go airborne up. With these guys, you want to make it as easy as possible and stick it right in that number, make him catch that thing in self-defense. You put it out in front, make him go with one hand. This kind of stuff happens. You get an incomplete. So he's 0 for 2 in this game. Okay, he only had 2 throws against Kentucky, and they were 2 good ones. This one is the first play for him as he entered the ball game. He comes right in and throws a bomb to Devontae Smith up the sideline one-on-one. It's just a really nice job. Again, you come right in the game fresh, and you get this. Defensively, they're putting a lot of guys in the box on this first play. It's 2 by 2. Okay, so he's got 2 hip tight ends receivers, but you're on the right hash, and so you can't even really see it up here, but you're one-on-one because you've got a 3-4 look, so 7 in the box for Kentucky defensively on this, and they've put a safety over the top of all of it. So he already knows he's one-on-one up top. Just take the snap and put it on him. It's a beautiful throw, drop it in the box. It's not bad coverage at all. So it's like, what do you do when you cover Devontae Smith and then the quarterback drops it in the bucket like this? That's just an outstanding throw. Can't walk out there and hand it to him any better, especially coming in right off the bench. So, again, you talk about the coverage. I mean, it's pretty tight. When you're talking about this is the, first-round draft pick Heisman winner, you're right in his hip pocket and you're trying to get a hand in there, but the throw couldn't be any more perfect right here. And so completion, he goes 1 for 1, and then his next throw was improvisation, make a guy miss and throw a touchdown to Devontae Smith. And it's a really quick release, but the best part of this is avoiding that sack on the rush right there. Free rusher gets inside, make him miss, then make a play. Kind of a risky throw to throw it back in the middle. A lot of times you get coached out of that because, oftentimes bad things can happen. So, but sometimes, when you're feeling it and you got that arm strength, you can get it in there, you take that chance. But this is what I'm talking about. So, on the rush, it's only a 4-man rush. It ought to be picked up. Right tackle right here just gets beat inside. And so in his face, he's got to avoid the sack. And that's the best part of the play is he does that. Patient, get away from it. Now get your eyes downfield. He's not looking to run. The tendency right here, I think, for most is to turn it loose right now. See if you can get it in there to 19. But he's extending the play, and 6 comes open. And it is a really tight window. Throws it right on his hip. And it's an outstanding catch. Okay, when you're running away from a quarterback, full speed, kind of right here, you got one defender on this side, one on the other, and he throws it right in your back pocket. That is a really tough catch right there. And he makes it, hauls it in. Anticipates things really well. So you saw that in high school. And a few times last year in those minimal attempts, you saw that from him on film at Alabama. He only had 1 throw in the LSU game, and it was almost picked. 3-man route, reads it to the wide side of the field, and Derek Stingley jumps it. and probably should have been an interception. Stingley doing what he does. He's one of the best in America. Gets to the football, and you could see after the play he was kind of frustrated with himself because he felt like he should have caught it. And when you watch the replay, how close he was, ball kind of sails on him inside, and yeah, he almost has that pick right there and probably should have it. As far as what happened on the play, let's go back and take a look just real quick. 3-man route, so you're bunching the formation. Smitty, as they say, is the top receiver up there, so he's the initial release pushing up the field. I haven't even actually previewed this, so let's take a look at the route. Yeah, so he just kind of gave him a choice route, and he hooked up. I couldn't tell. I don't know if y'all could. I couldn't tell if he hooked up in or out right there on this 3rd and goal. But because it's 3rd and goal, you're trying to go to the end zone, but it almost looks like on the route and the throw, there's a little bit of a disconnect between receiver and quarterback on who's going which way. And you saw them eyeball each other after the play, and that's what almost led to that interception on the goal line. But as a blowout game at that point, just a huge blowout. Against Arkansas, he went 3 for 4 passing in the game and nothing spectacular. His first attempt, the ball's out a little bit late. You couldn't see the route down the field, but just misses him low and underneath on a guy coming back to the football on 3rd down play. And then the 3 completions were a little play action screen out to one side on 1st down. I think maybe that did get him a 1st down. You come back again, you go screen the other way later in the 3rd quarter. And then I think a similar play on his last attempt, on his 4th attempt in this game against Arkansas. They'll play action, just throw it underneath, extended handoff, and they jump it. And you get a guy flexing, and he's down 45-3, but that is what it is these days.
So there you go. 22 throws in one season at Alabama for Bryce Young. And he's the $1 million man taking over the Alabama offense in 2021. Hope you enjoyed that. Hey, thanks for Mississippi Land Bank for supporting these videos. Y'all support them at mslandbank.com. And thanks to Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance. Check them out, favrates.com. And I'll see you on the next one.